Beyond the Pelvis is hosted by Dr. Keneal Segal, a pelvic floor PT and intuitive healer, and Laura Haraka, a somatic practitioner and breathwork facilitator. Each week, we explore alternative and holistic approaches to healing chronic pelvic pain and other painful or chronic conditions. Join us and other experts in mind, body, and spiritual healing as we discuss a wealth of modalities ranging from ancient practices to modern therapies that challenge the conventional Western model of treatment. Let's get right to it. Hey, welcome back. We've taken a break for the summer as we practice what we preach and we rest when it is time to rest. But more so, it was summer, so we were hopefully enjoying the actual summer and being outside as much as we possibly could. But we are back for another season, and we have so much good stuff to bring to this season. And we wanted to really play catch up, find out what's been going on. Laura, I want to know what's going on with your summer, and then I can share what's been going on with my summer because I feel like we've both experienced quite a bit. And then we can talk about what we have coming up as far as the season goes. So,
Absolutely. I am really excited for this second season because Keneal and I met last week talking about guests, and I'm really excited to share their knowledge with you and different expertise. And this summer has been, I wish it was a summer of rest, Keneal. I really do, but it really wasn't. I had a lot going on. This summer, I got a divorce, which was a big deal and a big shift in my life, but I'm adjusting to it. And I also, if anyone read my blog, I had to purchase a new car. My daughter got into a very traumatic accident where thankfully she's okay. That's the main thing, with some, I would say, some bumps and bruises, but she's okay. And the car actually flipped over and it was totaled. And I purchased now a new car. So this summer has been a summer of new beginnings for me and rebirths, kind of, for myself and my entire family. But I am feeling actually kind of recharged now, giving myself these last few weeks just to rest and relax and practice a lot more self-care because I'm trying to practice what I preach as well.
right. Yeah. Change and trauma can be really difficult, but as you mentioned, they are opportunities for rebirth, right? And we can come out on the other side different people, new people having grown. So we can take what we've experienced, use it to grow so we can transform into, the butterfly, like going with the summer theme here. We start as a caterpillar, we transform, there's some darkness, right, while we're in the cocoon, and then the lights at the end of the tunnel, we burst out of the cocoon and we're now this big, beautiful butterfly.
Right. Yeah. It's it's definitely been a summer of growing and changing, and I've really connected with a lot of gratitude this summer too.
Good. I'm glad.
I am so grateful for everything in my life. You know, when something traumatic happens, like an accident, it basically opens your eyes to what's really important in life. And, I've been thinking about it the last few weeks, and I always ask my clients to set an intention for the day in the first bit of waking, because that's the time our brain is most open and can take it on. So I've been setting my own intention for the day to give myself a lot of self care and for basically looking for gratitude in my life and having as much gratitude as I can for all the things that I do have and that my daughter is okay. So it's been an eye opener this summer.
Yeah. Accidents can be like that, you know? It's not something you expect, obviously. So when your life is literally turned upside down in that split moment, you kind of have to stop and readjust. And I'm thankful that you were able to come out of it with more self-care and more gratitude and looking at it from a different point of view. And you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that's the case for you because this is the line of work that we're in. We're in the line of work where we can take these big changes and traumas and we can look at them and find the real purpose. We can question and find out what is it really that we're supposed to learn? How are we supposed to come out of this better? So you use it to your advantage so that you can come out of it a different person, a new and improved you.
Absolutely. And, I didn't just come to the gratitude all of a sudden. Oh, thank God, Emily's okay. Oh, I have a new beginning in life. I'm starting a new life as like on my own, basically. But so I went through, though, all of the emotions
Mm-hmm.
and really took time to process it, to be sad, to be angry, to be scared. And I think it's really important to note that I really took the time to feel my emotions, but I also took the time to reach out for a lot of support
Mm-hmm.
from professionals, from friends, from family. And having support is one of the most important things for me right now. And knowing that I have it and that it's okay to ask for it. I don't need to be in pain to have it. I don't need to be hurting to have it. And now that I'm coming out the other side, I can still keep my support in place.
Absolutely. And that's part of self-care. Self-care is not the bubble baths and then getting the nails done. Self-care is really doing what you need to do to take care of yourself. And if that means reaching out for help, then you reach out for help and for support. You know, I always say on social media, I've said it in my blogs, like, we aren't here to people alone. Like, we are here to people together. So we need support, we need encouragement. And that's why I do the work that I do. No, I'm not here to fix anyone. I'm really here for support because we can't people alone. We can't heal in isolation. We can't even be happy in isolation. Who are you going to be happy with? We have to do this in community with other people.
We're meant to connect. We're
Hmm.
meant to help other people. We're meant to receive and give love. And I just think I've really learned this summer the purpose of life. Like when I leave this planet, I would really, it's not going to be, oh, did I get that next course out there? Or did I get my next newsletter out there? That's not what people are going to be saying. I want people to say about me, Laura really listened to me. Laura really gave me love. Laura was really funny. Those are the things I want people to remember about me.
Yeah. One of the things that I did learn this summer I did a lot of traveling. And one of my trips, probably one of the most memorable trips of my life, was I went back to Jamaica. And if you don't know, I am from Jamaica. But this time I went not to be with family, which I normally do. I went in the woods, in the bush, to learn about Rastafarianism. And one of the things that I learned, I also did ayahuasca too. That's a whole other
Tell us
conversation.
a little, what is Rastafarism?
So Rastafarianism is, like Bob Marley was a Rasta. And people think of it as a religion, but it is not a religion. It is a way of life. It's a spiritual practice, essentially. It's the belief that we are all connected. That's why the song One Love, the very popular Bob Marley song One Love, it's not just like one love with people, it's one love with the planet. Like we are the planet is us. We are the stars are us. It's really just like connection to nature and all of life. So it's this belief that we are everything and everything is us, right? And so it's really, really connected to nature. And that's why they're very connected to nature and they're all about healthy foods. The diet is the original vegan diet. It's called Ital diet. So it's all about like natural foods, the way it was grown, the way it was meant to be eaten. Just very, very natural, connected to the earth as much as possible, respecting the earth as much as possible, not taking advantage. So essentially, that's what it is. People think of it as like dreadlocks and smoking ganja. There is more to it than that. A lot more to it than that. It's all about nature, as I said. But one of the things that I learned there was about this idea that comes from I think the Akan tribe in Ghana of personhood. And I'm gonna butcher this maybe a little bit, but the idea is that our purpose as humans, as community members, is to develop personhood, which just means that it's the complete opposite of individuality in our current Western lifestyle. It's the idea of being of service to others, to the community. That is your purpose in life. Your purpose is to be of service to other people. Then you can say you are a whole person. And when you die, did you fulfill your personhood? That's what they're looking at. Were you of service to the community?
I love that. That is awesome.
Yeah, I loved it when I heard it. I was like, that makes so much sense. Yeah. So that was one of the things that I learned. I learned a lot of things this summer, but I also, similar to you, I felt like I gained more connection, not just to people, but to myself and to the planet. I know it sounds so far out there and so woo, but I felt so much more connection this summer just to the planet itself, just to the earth, and just learning to be in sync. And I've talked about this for a while, but I didn't really feel it or practice it as much as I did this summer. Just being in sync with the daily cycles, the weekly cycles, the monthly cycles, the seasonal cycles, just there's so many different cycles that we can sync with. And I felt like this summer I was able to sync with more of them than I previously had been doing.
You know, it's so funny that we both had completely different summers, right?
Yes.
And mine was through divorce and an accident, and yours was through travel. And we both have the same theme.
We come to the same conclusion at the end of the day.
And I didn't even know this coming onto the podcast, when we're talking today, but we both really came to the conclusion of purpose. And
Mm,
it's kind of a cool thing to shift your mindset to like, what is my purpose? And how I just want to love myself and love others. And about service, it makes me feel a little, actually, not a little, a lot more complete inside.
yeah. Right. And I feel it is easy because I can imagine, I almost already hear the thoughts that are going through people's heads and minds like, what does this have to do with my chronic pain? Right. And here is it. Here it is.
Mhm.
Your chronic pain may be showing you that you need to shift,
Mhm.
right? You may be going in the wrong direction. And as we've said before, your body speaks to you all the time. And if you don't listen to it, eventually your body yells at you until it gets your attention. And getting your attention is the only way, like yelling and giving you chronic pain or chronic conditions is the only way that your whole body, right? Mind, body, spirit can get you to stop and slow down and make the changes that you need.
Yeah, absolutely. Our body is talking to us all the time. And the problem is we ignore the needs of our body. And, we were talking before we started recording
Mhm.
about meeting the needs of our body and how at a very young age we're taught not to meet those needs.
Yeah.
And some of us are having kids going back to school. And I was wondering, Keneal, if you could talk a little bit about that and your experience with your kids going back to school right now.
Yeah, it's been hard for me, right? Because of the work that I do. And I say I'm here teaching grown people how to listen to their body so that they can fulfill their needs, right? And it could be as simple as you're not taking time to rest. Like you just keep going and you know you need to rest, but you don't because of the expectations of I have to get it done for work. I have to do it for this, right? It's like life goes on, doesn't really matter how tired you are, it doesn't really matter how much pain you're in, you still have to do what you are expected to do. And I see that happening in my own children. Like I'm here teaching people what to do and how to do it or guiding people on that and creating the life that is more aligned with listening to themselves and more aligned with cycles. And I see the confusion in my own children. My little one just started kindergarten and he is exhausted when he gets home from school. It's a full day of kindergarten. There's no rest, no break, nothing, just straight through. And I'm like, what are we teaching them age 4 and 5, or maybe 6 in kindergarten? What are we teaching them when we tell them you don't get to rest when you're tired? You don't get to stop when you feel like it. No matter what you're feeling, too bad. It's time for school. Go do the thing, right? And I've heard people say or complain about certain schools or classes or teachers where even their own bodies are policed as children. They're told when they can eliminate their bodies. Like, that is ridiculous to me that we're putting them on schedules. We're telling them, no, you get to go at this time and this time only. It's not a road trip, right? Where it's like, well, we're in the car and we're driving and we'll stop as soon as we can. The bathroom is right there. All they have to do is walk to it. But just because the teacher says, no, it's not the right time. Why? Because they're doing math? Like math comes before our body. So we put logic, as irrational as it is, over intuition, over listening to our bodies, just because that's just how the system works.
And how, as adults, are we supposed to grow into people that listen to our bodies when we're not taught how to do that by teachers and schools and parents, even? So when we learn something, that becomes what we practice.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's having to relearn as adults when we get these pain conditions
Right.
how to listen.
Yeah. And it's something we're born naturally doing, but then it gets beaten out of us. And then we have to come back and learn it again and unlearn everything we've learned. Why can't we just skip the whole beat it out of us part and just keep listening to our bodies? Why
Exactly.
why can't we do that? And it's a struggle for me as a parent. And I was a teacher. I did work in this school, and it was a struggle for me too. And not saying that all teachers and administrations and staff in the school system are like enjoying this process themselves. They're also struggling. They're also victims of the system. Because what are they to do? I mean, yes, there's some control that they have. Well, let's not police their bodies so much and say, hey, if you need to go to the bathroom, just go to the bathroom. Just let me know so I know you're out of the classroom. Some teachers do that.
Yes, many teachers do that. Being a former teacher, I
Mm.
remember keeping a pass on my desk. I said, "Take the pass, go to the bathroom, bring it back." I never had like a structure. I said, "Don't even raise your hand. Just take the
Just
pass.
go.
When the next person has to go, take the pass again." So there are people and teachers that really do advocate for people to listen to their bodies as well.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. And we're both survivors of the school system.
Mhm. And we made it through.
We made it through, But it doesn't have to be that way it doesn't have to be that way. Even like eating a snack, like they could only eat when it's time to eat. And I get the whole like food allergy thing, but if they're bringing in allergy-free foods already, which they have to, why
Mhm.
can't they eat a little snack, right? Because there's times of the day when I feel my blood sugar dropping and I need to eat. What if the child is feeling that, but they don't know how to explain, hey, my blood sugar is dropping. I need to eat a little snack right now. They just feel I'm hungry and I want to eat.
Mhm. Yeah. Mhm.
And the teacher's telling them, no, it's not time to eat yet. Or they're
Mhm.
thirsty, right? We've gone through, because my oldest started middle school. So we've gone through years of, the school system. Some teachers will allow the kids to drink water or have it on their desk, and some teachers don't. So it's like every year they have to go through this change. Oh, we're allowed to drink water. We're not allowed to drink water. It is so confusing, and I
Yeah.
don't think it's right.
Yeah. It's not right. And right now, I don't have children in the grade school and middle school and high school. My kids are one just went to college as a sophomore, and the other started her job in New York City and moved out as well. And I can't change what's happened. And
Mm,
however, with all the knowledge I've learned about listening to your body, I can bring the knowledge to my kids at this age. That's
yeah.
the best I can do. And my older daughter started a job in the city at Deloitte. And it was really interesting. She was nervous too. She had a lot of anxiety going into the job. And I invited her just to sit with it
Mm,
and notice it in her body and be with it and give herself some compassion and self care and not to push it away and go do a spin class and get rid of it or go take a run and get rid of it. Sometimes we want to sit with it and honor it as well, which I
yeah.
think is really important to do, to honor what we're feeling in our body at any age.
Yeah. I mean, that's the best we can do is teaching them now at any age, and even us learning it at any age is to listen to our bodies, recognize the systems that we are in, and do the best that we can. That's it. So I do try to teach my children to, even have compassion. I don't say it in that way for even the teacher, like, oh, the teacher doesn't know. They don't understand. Maybe they don't understand their own bodies as much as you do. And maybe they will at some point.
Right.
It's the best we can do.
Yeah. So I ran a little experiment this year with my older daughter because I kind of knew that she was going to be anxious for her first day. And I've always been taught by my therapist, Caitlin, to recognize your progress. And I read a book this summer, Gap and the Gain. So after I let Anna sit with her emotions for a little bit, I said to her, I want you to name 5 things that you've accomplished in the last few years. Name things that you're proud of, and they could be small or they could be big because the small ones are just as important as the really big ones.
Yep.
And she started naming the things that she did, all the things she was proud of, and she started feeling better in her body. And I asked her just to sit with that for a minute and give herself some time and space to be with the feeling of her accomplishments and all the progress she made and all the gain that she's done instead of being in the gap. And by doing that, she actually said to me, hold on, mom, let me write this down. I want to read this list on my way to work tomorrow.
Yes.
So it really is about shifting your mindset and setting your intention and remembering your
Yep.
why you're doing it and what your purpose is.
That's such a good practice for her to have now.
It is. And I'm hoping she'll remember it.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. Even if she forgets it, she'll come back to it. I mean, there's a reason why there's so much positive studies done with gratitude.
Mhm.
Oh, how just recalling 2 minutes of something that you're grateful for, or just thinking about it, speaking about it, writing down an event for 2 minutes can really shift our physiology, right?
Mhm.
Shift our emotions, which are energy in motion, can take you from feeling this way to that way. Just two
Mhm.
minutes.
Yeah, perspective is such a big difference. And, she called me the other day and said to me, "Oh my God, Mom, I just realized I'm going to be doing this job for the rest of my life. That I have to go to work and I have to sit behind a computer." And I said, "Yes, you will." And she also realized that taxes come out of a paycheck and told me this is so unfair.
We've all been there.
Yes, it's that first paycheck that she got
Yep.
that was like, "Oh my God, taxes come out and they take so much."
That's my money.
Exactly. So it was so interesting. But I said, again, I go, "Anne, I said, I want you to shift your perspective for a moment. You can say, I have to go to work or I get to go to work."
Mhm.
I said, and when you were younger and you were you needed rides home from parties, or Emily needed a ride to soccer practice, I could sit there and be like, "Oh my God, I have to go get them. I'm exhausted. I have to get to soccer. I have to set my alarm for 12:30 to pick her up from a party." But I changed my perspective and I said, "I get to go pick you up. How
Mm,
lucky am I that I have the car and that I have the opportunity to pick up my kids, take them where they need to go." So she called me this morning and said, "I'm on my way to work and I get to go to work."
right. And even saying I get to do these things doesn't mean that you are completely settled on this is what I do forever. It could be I get to go to this job even though I don't like it, but it gives me a paycheck and it allows me to save up money so I can quit one day and do whatever it is that I want to do. Right. So it's not necessarily like I get to do this thing. So now I'm just okay with it and I do it forever. Yeah, like you mentioned, when she came to that realization, oh my God, I do this forever. Not really. Just right now.
And I said that to her at the end of the conversation. Just because I'm saying that, it doesn't mean you have to live in this bubble of like,
Right,
"Oh, I get to do this. How
right,
wonderful is that?" You can still say, "Oh, this is hard. It's
right.
hard starting a new job." And you can feel into that too.
Yeah, just being with our emotions. I mean, you had talked about like processing your emotions and being with it. Like it's a saying that I say all the time, like I am in the feelings right now. Like when I'm going through something, I'm like, I'm in it, in the feelings. And I don't try anymore to like distract myself, as you said, like, let's not go to the gym so you don't feel it. Like, just be in it for a minute and see what comes out of it, because something always comes out of it. You may come to the realization of wow, I have been doing this, or I can do that. You know, you always come out with some new thoughts, thinking, perspective, something always comes out of it. And I find you tend to come out of it quicker than if you try to avoid it, because then it just lingers on and on and on, and you never really get to fully process it from beginning to end. It just kind of stops in the middle someplace and it just keeps getting pushed down the road further and further. And next thing you know, months later, you're still dealing with this. Whereas a few days, you're through it because you were in it.
Exactly, exactly. So it seems like now that we're going to be starting season 2 of Beyond the Pelvis, we're both coming into it, coming from different things that we've done in our life with travel and trauma and whatever we've experienced these summer and learning. I come in, and I think you are too, with a different perspective and maybe an excitement for the guests that we have lined up for this season. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah, I am really looking forward to it and really excited about this next upcoming season because we'll be talking about so many different things. Like some of them are fringe. That's okay. Right? It's just conversation, right? We're just having conversation. And exploring different ideas, new ideas, and teaching ourselves and listeners that there are other things to consider as well, or other things to think about, or other ideas that we may or may not be interested in, but at least we get to learn about them. So I'm excited
Yeah, and we're going to be learning about these new ideas
as we
as we're
go,
presenting them.
right? It's just conversation, like I said.
So this will be a great season coming up. I really hope that you'll tune in and experience some of the new people that we have coming on and what they have to share with you. And I think it's going to be a really exciting time and new perspective that we both bring to season number 2.
Yeah, we're getting deeper into some of the things, and it's gonna be worth just tuning in, just listening, because like I said, it's gonna be new information for all of us. Some of these things it's gonna be. And we get to talk a little bit more about some of the things too, tying it in with what we learned over the summer.
And all this learning and all this growing is just always going to be a part of who we are. We're always learning, we're always growing. You're never going to get to the end of the journey. The journey is having fun and learning and not taking life so seriously as we go through our experience here.
Totally. That's one of the realities of being a being. Right? Is there's always learning, there's always growth, there's always change, right? That's the constant. It's always going to be there. So might as well be aware of it, right? Which I think at the end of the day, that's our message, is to be aware of it and use it to your advantage and listen to the messages that you get along the way and use that for your growth, because it's always go happen. Growth is always. It's just part of the process. The earth has grown. The earth changes. The universe changes. Everything changes. Our solar system is not the same in the beginning as it was today, and it's going to continue to change. So let's just embrace all of that and use it to our advantage and just enjoy, like you said, not take things so seriously. Enjoy the process. There will be downs, there will be darkness, but there's always light. And there's always ups. Always. That's a good balance. We can't enjoy. I think I said this to you. Did I say this to you this week? We can't enjoy the good stuff if we never experience the bad stuff, because then how will you know it's good if you don't experience the bad, right?
Yeah. You did say that to me this week
Yeah.
because there's going to be bad and there's going to be good.
Right. Well, that's it. That's all we got. And yeah, the season's gonna be great. Lots of really great guests lined up, and we hope you tune in. Join us.
Yeah, we look forward to all these guests, and I'm looking forward to all these fun and informative conversations that Keneal and I are going to have.
Yeah, thanks. Next time.
If you'd like to leave us a message or ask a question, please check the show notes with the link so you can reach us directly, or email us at beyondthepelvis@gmail.com.